Hello and welcome to the fourth pillar. Today we have a special guest. He is very young. He studied mechanical engineering, but he does something which is totally different. He is into film production, and he's a film director, a script writer, and now a very big name across India, and hopefully he is going to be a very big name across the globe. His name is Maharshi Kashyap. Welcome, Maharshi.
Thank you so much.
Maharshi's short film, a 15-minute short film, has been selected as a direct entry representing India for the Oscars. So that's a very big news for people of Assam. And congratulations,
Thank you so much.
Maharshi.
Thank you.
And this is probably for the first time a short film from Assam, produced, directed by a filmmaker from Assam, has found a direct entry into the Oscars. So the name of the film is very interesting. Mor Ghorar Duronto Goti.
Hi.
So how did you conceptualize the title? But naam to kenuka ahil?
Actually, whenever I am making a film, it is very important for me to see myself in the film. Whatever idea it is, whatever topic I'm working on, but it's eventually about me and about how I feel about it. So when I started, when I came up with the idea, it was about this man who thinks that he has the fastest horse in the world, and he's taking his horse to the city to run in the horse races. And he knows that his horse is going to win all these races and is going to come first. But what he has is not a horse, it's a donkey. So he's traveling with his donkey. And that's the main idea of the film. So so there are a lot of aspects to how we name a film, right? When I name a film, first of all, I feel it's something that has to hook into my own soul. When I say Mor Ghorar Duronto Goti, Ghorar Duronto Goti is coming from the fact that the man feels that it's the fastest horse in the world. When I say Mor, it becomes me. And when whoever is saying Mor, it becomes everybody who is saying the name of the film. And I feel that the story actually belongs, and the story actually leads to each and every person, whoever is naming the film, saying the name with their lips. So that's why Mor Ghorar Duronto Goti. So when you say Mor Ghorar Duronto Goti, you also become the
part of it. Yeah.
You also become the part.
So Maharshi, you are a final year student at Satyajit Ray Institute, Film and Television Institute in Calcutta.
Yeah.
And I was told that this short film has been part of your course.
Yeah.
So did you ever expect that a short film which you produced as a part of your curriculum will travel so much up to the Oscars?
Not at all. Not at all. Not even in my wildest dreams. Not Oscars at all. There are big film festivals where I had sent my film, where I got rejected, like I had expected. In the bigger festivals, there were many smaller festivals which also had rejected the film. So for the journey of a film is very difficult to guess how the film is going to travel, or how the film is going to reach, or how people are going to accept the film. It's very difficult. It's a difficult task for me, because I made another short like in 2019. It was called Poetry of Whispers. In Assamese it is called Kan Fuspusat Fuspusani. It is available on YouTube. When I made that film, I was already into sending the films to festivals. So festival circuit is a very different ball game. So eventually I started realizing, okay, so I want to send it to bigger festivals first, and there are some processes how you send a festival and how it gets accepted and all that. But this is a very different different
You see,
things.
selection of a short film,
Yeah.
which is part of your curriculum for the Oscars,
Yeah.
is something very big.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any other film producer or director, did that or could do that in the past. So tell me, let us start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you studied mechanical engineering. So far as I understand, except for movement of the trolleys and some hydraulic movement, there is hardly any use of mechanical engineering into filmmaking. So how did you start, pick up this passion of filmmaking?
See, what I feel is that mechanical engineering, although I don't really identify myself as an engineer or mechanical engineer per se, but I think it's not just the hydraulics and the thermodynamics and the physics and the chemistry that we learn in engineering. There are a lot of other aspects to it. Those other aspects have always helped me. So when I was actually studying, I was studying in GIMT Tejpur, Girijanand Institute of Technology, Science and Technology. So when I was studying there, in GIMT, I already knew that I wanted to make films, and I wanted to get into SRFTI or FTI. There are two premier institutes.
One is Pune, one is Kolkata.
Pune and one is Kolkata. So I wanted to get into them. So I had already started making short films with my friends. So I think how it happened is that everybody wanted to make films because of this boom, like technologically how advanced we are getting every day, how cameras are getting smaller and smaller, and with a DSLR suddenly it became possible to make a film. Suddenly, cinema always used to be something that we used to look from a distance. Even the stars, when you see the celebrity, we always look at them from a distance. But now it is changing. Now when you look at a star, you take a selfie with them. You go in the same frame. You become the same, posture and
same level,
and you take a selfie. So this thing, like, is changing. It is also changing in terms of making the films. So when we got this opportunity that okay, like with a small DSLR we can make films, so we started with a group called Deuka Films in Guwahati, where there were many of my friends like Vishal Sharma. He was there. He used to edit the films. Vishal Soliha, who has made the film Sijo, which is releasing tomorrow in Kokrajhar and soon in Assam theatres, which is a very interesting film, a feature film. So Vishal was also there in the group, and we knew nothing about cinema. We don't know a lot of many things. We don't know many things now. We know a little bit now, but then we did not know even this much. So we started off together making films. All these people had this hunger for cinema, and we made films. And then engineering was going together. Engineering was happening, and I used to travel to Guwahati every week. I used to travel from Tejpur every Friday to Guwahati, and Saturday, Sunday we will work on films, and Monday morning I will again go and attend my classes in the morning. So that was my schedule for a long time, and that actually helped me to build my confidence, because one of our films went to a foreign film festival. It was like, wow, we are making films here like with nothing actually, and it's being applauded outside. So that confidence actually gave the kick that okay, we can do much more, and now this is another kick, that like a film that we had never expected to. I mean, actually since last 1 year I have been sending it to a lot of festivals, and that is how festivals work. You get a lot of rejections because a very limited amount of seats, like slots, are there, and a lot of things come into action. So we never got a big opportunity. Suddenly this happens. So it's a kick that okay, if this can happen, a lot of other things can happen in the future.
So okay, I understand that while studying engineering, you started producing films, directing and producing films.
Yeah.
But when exactly you thought that you are interested in this subject and you want to be a filmmaker?
In class 8.
Okay. So as early as class 8, you thought what inspired you to think about that in class 8 you wanted to be a filmmaker?
I was into theatres actually for a long time. I used to do children theatre. I used to travel with my team Manik Roy sir was my mentor, and I was working with him since class 4, and until I went to Kolkata, I was still working with him, assisting him in children workshops and children theatre. So it's a very interesting. I think that is one of the reasons why SRFTI selected me, because I had this interesting thing called children theatre with me. You know, very rarely people have worked in children theatre who have worked specifically with children. So a lot of things like that happen. So anyways, I got diverted. I was talking about when I was in class 8, I was one day thinking that always when there is an essay a question that what do you want to do in life, what do you want to become when you get older, we always used to write doctor, engineer. I once wrote conductor, bus conductor. Yeah, I wanted to be a bus conductor when I was young. So eventually I kept on writing a lot of things. But one day when I was in class 8, this question seriously struck me. It was like, what do I actually want to become? I always write, do I want to become an actor, theatre actor? Do I want to become a swimmer? Because I used to swim. Do I want to become a hockey player? All these things were there, but I could not figure out, because a lot of things were there on my plate. So that day, coincidentally, in SSA, Srimanta Shankar Academy, I was in the assembly line, and they announced that Slumdog Millionaire won the Oscar award. I was like, okay, this is a sign. So I thought that that a person who is from outside, who is from America, is making a film which is plotted on India, and it's getting an Oscar award. I think we should make our own films, and we should get an Oscar award for it. That's how it started, actually.
So that assembly, that school assembly on that particular day when you were in class 8 was the turning point of your life.
Yeah,
in fact.
It was.
And now you are also marching towards the Academy Awards, basically. So that's
it's
excellent.
Like a circle.
It's like a circle.
Yeah.
So Maharshi, before we get into your film institute, tell us, why do you make short films? Like, when we talk of film, it means celebrity, Aishwarya Roy, Priyanka Chopra, Amitabh Bachchan and all that.
Yeah.
So that's more glamorous. You know, every young boy or girl would, think of Bollywood and all that.
Of course.
So, but short film documentaries are a different set of filmmaking.
Yeah.
So, as a filmmaker, why you thought that you should go for short filmmaking?
Okay. First of all, these are projects that we have to do in SRFTI. So these are short film projects that we have to submit. Like this particular time limit is there, we have to submit, and they will produce. They will give the money to make the films and all the other help. So that is the primary reason for this project. But when we talk of short film or documentary, short documentary, feature documentary, short films is a very different form in itself. When we talk of feature film, it's a longer film where you have a longer time to talk about a lot of other things or one thing in a lot of more details. But when we talk of short film, there is a limited time we have. And in that limited time, we have to tell something in a certain way that affects the person who is watching it. Should not be boring. It cannot be something that people don't understand. It cannot be something that is not philosophical or like something that is lesser in terms of content, say. It cannot be that. It has to be an interesting subject. It has to have its own fulfillment. In that limited time, it should be fulfilled. It should have its own completion. So that, I think, is a very interesting part of the whole concept of short, the whole idea of why short stories or short films or anything that is short art form is there. So I think that is one reason. Although I want to make feature films, I'm already working on them. I have written screenplays for feature films. I have written for Borokhun, The Songs of Rain, that was released this year. Bulu film, which is released this week. I have written the screenplay with Himangshuda and Shankuda for that film, and also Hero I wrote for Himangshuda and me. We had written another film I had written, but that is not made yet. But I have been working on feature films, and I understand that although these two are very separate forms in themselves, but I think I can work on both of them. I think I know. I mean, it's interesting to work in two separate forms.
Formats,
Yeah.
So you told us that your short film Mor Ghorar Duronto Goti got rejected by several film festivals.
Yeah.
But Bangalore International Small Short Film Festival is the most important festival
Yeah,
for
for me.
every Indian film producer, short
Yeah.
film producer.
Yeah.
So when you sent them your film,
Yeah.
are were you that optimistic that you are going to get get that what you got today, that you will be selected as the winner?
Not at all. Actually, I feel it's a responsibility of the filmmakers to send the films to festivals.
As many festivals
As
possible.
many festivals possible. There are a lot of problems and a lot of struggles in that, because a lot of
So
amount of
while sending to Bangalore, did you ever think, back of your mind, that if I'm selected, I'm going to go to the Oscars?
Firstly, I never thought that we'll get selected in the festival, in the lineup. So I thought maybe we'll not even get selected, but at least when I send it, somebody will watch it. Maybe somebody likes it. Who knows? So it's one of those festivals which I have sent. Many festivals. So a lot of festivals have also acknowledged our work. It's not like that. Like Kolkata Kolkata International Film Festival, KIF, had actually asked us to send a film, but we had already won an award at Himalayan Film Festival, because of which our entry was not possible in the main competition. So we were in the non-competition in Kolkata International Film Festival. Like I said, in Himalayan Film Festival, we were there. We got a Best Cinematography Award. We were in Jaipur International Film Festival. And we were also in a special curation on transfigured boundaries. That was the name of the title. It's a special curation done by an Indian and a person from Mexico. They had collaborated and they had selected many films from the world under that curation, and they selected our film as well. So our film was screened at National Museum, Cineteca National Museum in Mexico City. So that was another screening. It was a special screening. So yeah. So there are other festivals who have written to us that they like our film, but now that our film is going to Oscars, थोड़ा हम भी भाव खा रहे हैं. I'm trying to tell them that there are this and this are the requirements and all that. So that those things are happening. So yeah, I never thought that this is going to be a winner. So I never thought. I didn't even think that it will be selected in the main lineup.
But you still don't believe or feel that luck by chance was a factor here?
No, that I don't think. That I definitely don't think, because see, every film that a person makes, he knows what he is making, and it's not that I have worked harder than somebody else. It's not that, but I know I have worked hard.
One good thing was, despite being rejected by several film festivals, you still had the courage to send it to Bangalore.
Yeah.
So that's a very fantastic thing. Maharshi, tell us something like, every actor, every player, every writer, they follow someone. They have some kind of an idol.
Yeah.
So as a filmmaker, who is your idol?
I actually don't have any idol that way. I am still trying to find one.
But do you follow the works of any particular?
Of course, I follow the works of a lot of people actually. So there are a lot of filmmakers who I really admire, and I really love how they have made films all across the world. Like there is Jia Zhangke, who is from China. He's a very fantastic filmmaker, master. These are masters basically, cinema masters. Let's take the name of the person who we should talk about right now, Godard, Jean-Luc Godard. Jean-Luc Godard was a master. His works are fantastic. He passed away day before yesterday. And then there are a lot of other filmmakers, like this Taiwanese filmmaker who I really admire. His name is Siming Liang. A lot of people actually. There is Hong Sang-soo from Korea, whose films are fantastic. These people are not like new names. Like maybe somebody like us in Assam, we might find them very new names, or because we are not accustomed to international cinema or world cinema. But they are like very great filmmakers who inspire any kind of film industry. Any kind of film industry that we can name off.
See, what I realize, while talking to you, Oscar is the key word which is connected with you in several ways.
Yeah.
Like your turning point in life was Slumdog Millennium, which won a Oscar, and it happened because of your school assembly session. Second was, you went to Satyajit Ray Institute, and Satyajit Ray is one of the recipients of Oscar because of his lifetime achievement. So, and
there's another thing I can tell you that.
Okay.
It's also interesting. When I was in higher secondary final year, I was, I was a very, my school and higher secondary professors know it very well. And recently they have also quoted it, saying that we never knew that we always misunderstood you. So they have said misunderstood, but actually I was a very naughty kid. I was like a big time loser kind of a person, at least in the higher secondary part. I was always I had a different life. I used to become a mafia at that time. I used to become a don of Guwahati, something like that. That was how we were looking at life at that point. Not just me, a lot of my friends were there. So we were living a life like that. We used to go for fights. We used to be like street fighters and all that. So that was happening when I was doing. My father was very angry at me before the higher secondary exam came, and I had not studied, no study at all. So my father was very angry, and he said that this guy is not going to do anything in life, and he was scolding me like anything. I told him that don't worry, I will get my marks. He was like, how much will you get? You'll pass. You think you'll pass? I said, no, I'll get more than passing marks. And he said that, okay, what do you, I said that I'll get 80%. He was like, if you get 80%, I'll give you a bullet bike. You're asking for a bullet bike, take a bullet bike if you get 80%. I was very serious because I really wanted a bullet, to become the don, the hunk of Guwahati. And so he said that, so I started working on, started studying. And when I was studying, somebody told me that if you write your dreams on the wall, they become manifest. Why not try it? So I wrote a 80% on the, on a paper, and I stuck it. So when I started studying, I also felt something was missing because 80% is a very temporary thing. So beside that, I drew an Oscar award. I thought, okay, I'll study. I studied. I did not get 80%. I got 79 point something. Anyways, my father didn't give me the bullet. But I told him that since you didn't give me the bullet, you have to give me something else. It's almost 80%. So he gifted me a camera and a laptop. I didn't have them. So that was actually how, again, the journey became. Started.
Okay, excellent story. So maybe in future when you make feature films, you can make films on the mafias, because
I definitely want to.
Yeah, because
I'm already writing one actually.
Yeah, so that is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
So now let's get into your institute, Satyajit Ray Institute. It's on the eastern bypass of Calcutta.
Yeah, right.
So Eastern Metropolitan Bypass.
Yeah.
So when you got into the campus, your teachers identified you as a mechanical engineer. You studied mechanical engineer and you came.
Yeah.
So what was their response like,
No, actually, in SRFT, a lot of my friends are from different backgrounds.
Okay.
There are engineers. A lot of engineer is I don't know. A lot of people are engineers today. Not very good engineers. There are few who are actually working. So it's a very derogatory in a way to call everyone an engineer. But a lot of people are actually working, very good engineers who are my friends as well. So for me, they never, I think nobody cared from which branch you came. Like there is a friend called Vamsi, he came from IIT. There is a friend called Kaushik Tamilmaran, he came from NIT Trichy. So these are like, so it's not really something that matters. How they looked at me was that I came from Assam, you know. And I think it's very important for me. When I got into SRFTI, till then I actually wanted to go to, like you had mentioned, I wanted to work in Bollywood films. I wanted to go outside and work there. But eventually when I got into SRFTI and my new life started, it's a very life-changing experience actually, because a lot of things start changing. You start looking at yourself and you start looking at how you have been all your life, and you start looking for your roots, what you actually want to say through films, and what cinema is to you. Do you actually want to make cinema? All these questions start bombarding on you, like, and it's not forced, it's like your own exploration. So at that point, at certain point, like I started understanding that, okay, if I want to make films, I want to make them in Assamese. So I started making all my films in Assamese, and eventually this is also an Assamese film, and I hope I'll make a lot of other Assamese films.
Okay, so you told us that when you went there, they identified you as from Assam.
Yeah.
So what was the specialty, you being from Assam?
I think it's very interesting. For SRFTI, people from Assam have been doing good. It's a coincidence actually, but there are few good people who have, not just from Assam, obviously it's wrong to say just from Assam, but people who have been from Assam have been interesting people. So there are few directors who have been from Assam. One of them is someone, two of them actually have always inspired me. One is Yuvaraj Borua. He's a senior of mine. He has always inspired me, and he makes fantastic films. He was in Belgium for 2 years, and he's made a fantastic film there, which was in a big festival. So Yuvaraj Da is one of the filmmakers who is quite an interesting filmmaker from Assam. Then there was another person who has always inspired me, but I never met him. His name is Angshuman Bargotagi. He passed away before he made his final film. But what he made during SRFTI are films that we can never get over. There is a film called Windows 4:3, which is a non-fiction film. And it's something that has always stayed with me. I feel like certain people influence, like I think his films do that. Another film is there, which is called Doctor, Nurse and a Patient. That is also a very interesting film. Adil Hussain has acted in it. It is also on YouTube. So people can watch it. That's why I'm like mentioning these films. So yeah, so Assamese people have been quite interesting in some way. And also because we are considered as coming from the Northeast, we are expected to bring something new maybe in certain ways. Not just us, everybody who comes from different regions bring their own flavor with them. So obviously people were expecting, maybe our professors are expecting that this guy is coming from Assam, from the Northeast. So he'll bring his own own flavors from Assam, I think.
So during these last 3.5-4 years in SRFTI, so what all things you feel has really trained you as a good filmmaker?
Conversations, I would say. Conversations and the habit of watching films every day. Conversations with people, like-minded people, and people who have worked, who are always working. Like in SRFTI, I feel like when I'm walking in cinema. When I'm eating cinema. When I'm bathing, I'm bathing with cinema. When I'm sleeping with cinema. And then when I dream, it's also cinema. So it's a whole environment that the film school creates, like an environment where you can actually start understanding and feeling things more and more. So every day we are supposed to watch at least 2 films. like there are 2 screenings, evening screening. We have a hall, cinema hall in the institute main theater. So there we watch films every day, and there is a night screening. So every day 2 films at least, and then you watch by yourself whatever you want to watch. And in classes they will show films. So it's a film. Like cinema is what you are always into, and that practice and the politics. I think politics is a very important thing, very important factor, because my politics has completely changed after SRFTI. Because of the people I have met, because of such interesting personalities who I have met in SRFTI, who have been making films and who have been talking about a lot of important stuff which I connect to, or even if I don't connect to, or even if I don't agree on, but there is a space to talk with them. There's a space and a open environment that they create, an aura that they create, because of which I can grow more with the conversations. I think that has actually changed me. And how it has changed me is that I have started an inverse road. Before I was going towards something. Now I'm starting to come inside myself. So more and more inside, more and more inside, more and more inside.
So these 3.5 or 4 years has been a great learning experience for you. So after SRFTI, what next? You want to go for higher studies, or you just want to be a full-time filmmaker then?
I don't actually know yet. I do want to go for higher studies if I get some scholarships. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not sure yet. But I definitely want to become a full-time filmmaker, of course, and I want to make my own films in Assam, most probably, or outside. I don't mind making films outside as well, but for now I'm thinking of the spectrum of Assamese and Northeast as a base. And I want to explore more of my roots. That is what I want to do in cinema. And I want to make films which can which are interesting, which are not boring. That is one prime thing that I want to do. Because a lot of times we actually forget that there is an audience. There is an audience who are not accustomed to a certain kind of cinema, but then we make films, and but I want to be aware of that. I want to be aware.
Basically, film production is also some kind of a storytelling.
Yeah.
And you want basically, to people to get engaged, or get captivated to what you are trying to say.
Exactly.
So that's a very So that's a very good future plan indeed. But don't you feel that some more exposure for yourself in places like, say, France, or maybe in Spain, or maybe in Hollywood for a couple of years, will further fine-tune your understanding about films and your skills,
of course,
in the long run?
Yeah, of course, definitely. That is true. But I am not sure. Basically, I don't think I can fund my studies right now. If I'm going for further studies to a different continent or different country, somewhere to a good film school, a better film, a better space, or different space, I don't think I can fund it right now. So I'm looking for scholarships. If I get one, I'll definitely go. It's possible. And also, I feel that growth is not really restricted to some specific spaces. I think I can grow even in Assam, and if I'm growing here, then I'll need an environment. And I think we can grow that, because right now in Assam, things are so interesting and so vibrant, so interesting. So many interesting filmmakers are there, and people who have studied outside have come back, and then there are filmmakers who have studied by their own and are making amazing films. So I think this is the time when I should not leave Assam. I should be there with them. We all should be together, and we should take this movement, or I don't know whether we can call it a wave yet, but if it is a wave, if this is a new cinema wave, I think we should make a very hard wave, a very drastic wave,
Okay, in India there are films being made in so many languages.
Yeah.
And you stayed in Calcutta for such a long time. So films like Tollygunj films, South Indian films, and films across the country.
Yeah.
Which all films you watch mostly and you enjoy watching?
I watch actually any kind of cinema is interesting. It's very difficult to say what kind of films I watch. I watch films from all languages. Everybody actually watches films from all languages. But I'm specifically interested in Malayalam cinema. So because they are doing some fabulous work. They have opened doors for all of these small industries like ours. They are doing some very different kind of growth they have shown to the whole industry. My friend Jose Jacob, who stays in Kerala, he had texted me saying that he's so happy that he has returned to Kerala from Bombay after working in Bombay for some time, and he said that he feels that now Kerala is ready to make very different films, and he knows that the kind of films he wanted to make and where we would never have been made before are now possible to be made in Kerala. So I think Kerala is a very interesting,
beautiful place.
Beautiful place and very beautiful cinema.
Canvas also.
Yeah, and very beautiful cinema, very interesting cinema they are making. Other than that, a lot of other languages actually I try to watch. Marathi cinema is doing such beautiful. Tamil cinema is doing amazing. But I am also interested in the world cinema more. Actually, I'm more inclined towards Southeast Asian cinema. When we talk of the world cinema, Southeast Asia is making films which the world had never seen before. Say there is like some filmmakers I already named from Taiwan, from China. There are filmmakers like Apichatpong, who is considered one of the greatest living legends of cinema. Apichatpong is from Thailand. A lot of other filmmakers.
Some of the Vietnamese filmmakers are also
Vietnamese filmmakers.
They're also great. I don't know their names.
Yeah. Vietnamese. A lot of films actually. From Bali, there are so interesting films are being made.
Maharshi, you have stayed 3.5 years in SRFTEI.
Yeah.
How many films by Satyajit Ray have you seen?
Almost all.
Okay. And which one do you think is the best?
I like Charulata a lot. Have you seen this short film called Two? There's a short film Satyajit Ray made that was amazing. Yeah, Satyajit Ray is brilliant, but I like Mrinal Sen more.
Pather
Panchali is a great film. Yeah, all of his films are great. He is a master, no doubt. Like, not even doubt. It's like it's the greatest fact of history that Satyajit Ray is a great filmmaker. But somehow I connect more with Mrinal Sen. Yeah,
Mrinal Sen also produced some of the fantastic movies.
Amazing filmmaker. Yeah. Also Ritik Ghatak and everyone actually. Ritik Ghatak, Mrinal Sen and Satyajit Ray are the three pillars. I consider them as the three pillars, but Mrinal Sen is the closest to my heart.
Okay, so Bollywood, any filmmaker
from Bollywood?
Contemporary filmmaker from Bollywood?
That's a difficult question. I do watch Bollywood films, but actually Bollywood has been making very interesting films, but I find the politics of Bollywood is getting more more diluted. They are not thinking like how they used to think before, like in the Raj Kapoor era, say. Now Bollywood is thinking about just money, and that kind of is not something I connect at all. Just money. Money is important. Cinema is an expensive art. Everyone needs money to make films, but not just money. There are other aspects to why we are practicing a certain form. why we're dedicating our life to a certain form. So yeah.
So March 2023 is a very important month for you.
Yeah.
Because it's the Academy Awards is going to be announced in the month of March,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong. Every year it happens.
It's true.
So we are also, just sitting with a lot of hope that you won the Oscars this year, the 96th or 97th.
Nah, 97.
97th Oscar.
It's a very difficult journey actually. I am not very accustomed to such attention. Firstly, a lot of attention I'm getting these days. I'm not accustomed to it. Secondly, such a big event, and Oscar is a difficult journey. For us, as an entry, we can send a film, but we probably will need a lot of support from a lot of people, and let's see how it goes. But it's a very different journey from other film festivals,
Okay, so it was a very interesting talking to Maharshi, starting from Oscar-winning film Slumdog Millennium to Satyajit Ray Institute. Satyajit Ray himself is an Oscar winner, and for his lifetime achievement, and now he has found a direct entry into the short live action film category. So we are hopeful that he is going to get the first Oscar to Assam. Thank you, Maharshi, and all the best.
Thank you so much. It was a big pleasure. I know Northeast now from a long time, since its inception actually, and it's a great privilege to be sitting here and giving an interview. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.